driving to oblivion. Follow your dreams.
So here is a watercolor made from my homemade watercolor paints. So I found an awesome recipe on happyhooligans.ca. It's a Canadian website, parents and kids, for a simple recipe. I took screenshots of it. It's on my blog. I'm not affiliated with them, so I'm just sharing it forward. I will mention though that I used maple syrup, good old Canadian maple syrup. I've had a can of it in my cupboard for probably close to a decade, so cracked that puppy open and used a whole 8 teaspoons maybe. It's different than the corn syrup recommended in the recipe, so I'm not sharing my particular recipe, not from any secretive standpoint, just it's not really mathematical. It was kind of until I could get it to pour into the tray, so it may be different with the corn syrup. Anyhow, so I put mine in ice cube trays. So I poured them clear, or in the white stage, and then added my Paz Easter egg liquid food coloring. I just used the whole packet, not 6 drops. So it was a little watery. I ended up leaving them overnight and then putting them outside in the sun on my porch for a few hours, and that really like dried them up, and now they're perfect. So heat's kind of an important element. If it's too cool and dry, it can slow the process down. However, I think, as you can see, like I busted out an indigo because that's my favorite color. And I ended up learning what you could do with the ground pigment and put it in one of my old Eminence facial containers. I love that it's shaped like an eye. That would be so cool. So reduce, reuse, recycle. But the powder was still moist, so it went in like a sand, and then I resealed it with saline solution just so it would set back in the pot. So many ideas. Maybe I could put parchment paper in the mold, and then they would just pop out, and I wouldn't have to try and crack them out of an ice cube tray. So to be continued on those. So these ones I'm painting with, just because they're there. They're straight up colors from the egg dye, nothing special. These ones were the powders, and like a makeup compact, I crumbled them and then pressed them in with a metal spoon, and then sealed them with a saline solution as well. And I thought, oh, I'll try painting with them today, which is here. So yes, it has kind of a flowery texture in certain ways, but I didn't really mull my product well, which is a key component to getting a really fine grind, is to spend up to an hour, I thought I saw online, grinding the pigment and cornstarch and mixture on like a plastic surface that you could bend and pour into the container and tint as you want, or if you're doing one big batch, you tint it and then pour into your containers. So I'll work on that a bit. But the maple syrup really helped keep more of a sheen to it, I find. It's not dry and crazy. Like, I've had worse paints from Dollarama, so I'm pretty impressed. Do the tape off, because that's fun. It layers really nicely like a watercolor. It's transparent because it is food colored. It's a non-toxic ingredients in the recipe. That's why I liked it off of that website. I wouldn't eat it, but it won't harm you unless you have an allergy to the particular dye colors, I would imagine. It's pretty kid safe. It'd be a fun workshop to do in 2 parts, creating custom palettes with kids, and they could name them their favorite, like Green Goblin Green, or, you know, here's your Green Goblin palette, and then you could do alcohol-based ink on watercolor trace outs and coloring pages, and they could paint them. So super fun idea at home. But this is what it looks like. So you can see where there's some texture, but these are obviously not like fine art archival quality, but I think they'll stand if you don't hang them in a bright sunny room, or you could probably spray a clear finish over top.